Next, though, here tonight, to quite the headline that caught our attention today. Are we on the cusp of a breast cancer vaccine? Now, this comes from an outlet in Seattle where researchers have led preliminary trials into an experimental vaccine. It turns out researchers at the University of Washington School of Medicine actually published their findings in a medical journal a couple of months back, but a lot of journalists kind of just noticing this. They found that the vaccine against breast cancer generated a strong immune response. This is one of several recent therapies showing progress fighting breast cancer and other cancers as well. And joining us live to help us better understand this right now is Dr. Stephen Edge, a breast surgical oncologist and Vice President for System Quality and Outcomes at Roswell Park. Doctor, it's great to have you on the show here. Again, I know that this isn't necessarily brand new. I guess this was published a couple of months ago, but that headline really stood out to us. We know that breast cancer has impacted so many people watching right now, whether it be them or a family member or a friend. What should we know about this vaccine and the protein HER2? How would you explain to a layperson watching about what they've concluded?
Well, first of all, the ongoing research in cancer immunology is really revolutionizing how we're treating cancer, and honestly, the long-term outcomes and improvement in outcomes for people with many types of cancer. HER2 is a protein that's on the surface of breast cancer cells in about 1 out of 7 people with.
It looks like we froze with the doctor there for a moment. I'm hoping through the magic of technology, sometimes these things bounce right back. Let's see here. Doctor, are you able to hear us? And we're not seeing it. We're going to try to refresh that. Again, this is promising research that's coming out of the School of Medicine out in Seattle, the University of Washington. But as the doctor mentioned there, one of many active trials and bits of research. Doctor, I apologize. We lost you there for just a moment, lost the signal, but we have you back now. Please continue what you were saying in terms of what this trial is teaching us.
Yeah, I'm terribly sorry. The computer or the screen all of a sudden just went dark. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you. Go ahead.
Okay. So we were talking about HER2 and this vaccine that's being studied. HER2 is seen on about 1 out of 6 breast cancers. Untreated, it is actually marks a cancer that's one of the most aggressive breast cancers. Drugs developed about 20 and 25 years ago have completely turned that around. There's some of the miracle drugs of modern oncology that have made the outlook for those cancers much better. This study has taken a vaccine that directly elicits the body's immune system to respond to this protein HER2. This study showed that they had a very strong response, and they're hoping very much that that strong immune response will lead to better outcomes for the people with breast cancer. This study was a very early study, just really looking to see if they could give the vaccine safely to people, which they could. It is one of a number of studies that are looking at HER2 as a place to give a vaccine in breast cancer that are in various phases of development.
Doctor,
so it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. When people hear the word vaccine, they oftentimes think of, like the MMR vaccine, right? That's supposed to prevent something. This is a little bit different, right? This is part of the treatment of breast cancer. What should we understand about that?
Well, I mean, the purpose is to have the body recognize the cancer as foreign and therefore use the body's immune system to attack the cancer and kill the cancer. And such vaccines are in place for some kind of cancers. Interestingly, there's a lot of vaccine research going on right here in Western New York and at Roswell Park in particular. There are 2 vaccines that are now in treatment clinical trials where they've been deemed safe and are actually now in treatment trials. One developed by Dr. Robert Fenstermaker in neurosurgery for the brain cancer glioblastoma. It's called Surfaxin, which is now in clinical trials nationwide looking at its effectiveness in glioblastoma. Another is a vaccine developed in collaboration with a group at the Immunology Institute in Cuba, which has done some really interesting forward-thinking work. And that study, that vaccine is in clinical trials here at Roswell Park for both treating people with lung cancer and to see if we can prevent lung cancer in people at high risk.
Finally, doctor, I've got a little over a minute left. In terms of what happens next with this particular trial involving this breast cancer vaccine, what happens next? You mentioned this is sort of a first step in terms of setting people's expectations. How much work is still to go, and how is that going to play out?
Well, that group is now undertaking treatment trials to take people and see if they can see an effect on the cancer itself, to see if they can improve outcomes. So it's actually, this particular vaccine is some long time before, some ways off before it can, if it proves effective, can be put into trials. But I would highlight again that here at Roswell Park, we have a vigorous program trying to harness the immune system, looking at clinical trials of both vaccines and other kinds of new treatments that are really changing the way we're looking at cancer. And those trials are available here in Western New York for people not only with breast cancer, but with any kind of cancer.
Yeah, it's immunotherapy has really changed the game, right? And I know
it's unbelievable to watch. Yeah, it's been unbelievable to see the benefits.
It really is. We appreciate all the work that you're doing and all the doctors there at Roswell. Thank you so much, Dr. Stephen Edge with Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. Good to see you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.